You got to say
Why
it.
not say it?
Say it on camera, baby. Say it on camera. No.
Jane Cross, season 1, episode 2.
No. Anyway.
In 3, 2.
Thank you, Frank. That was perfect. Good morning, everybody, or maybe it's night wherever you're from. We don't care. We're just here to have fun. So, last week I talked to you a little bit about Woogie and who I am. I'm going to get back to Woogie, but I'm going to kind of give you a couple of stories about Woogie. Okay? Well, not too long ago, I guess last week before, I went to see my grandchildren up in Dallas. And in my great ability to keep up with things, I left my iPad on the airplane. I didn't remember this. I know everybody's going, oh God, your iPad's history, right? Oh, forget it. Well, I get out of the airplane. I go and get in the car that I'd hired because, I don't want people picking me up because it's too much like work. So, and I get a phone call from the flight attendant, and I go, this is your flight attendant from American. I'm going, okay. She says, you left your iPad on the airplane. And I said, oh my God, I'm so sorry. And she said, I'll put it at the gate where you exited. Well, that would have been great, but I'd already vacated the premises. And as you know, if you have vacated the premises, you're not getting back in there unless you have, your ID, your blood type, everything you have to get back in. And so I was telling my driver, Joe, I said, Joe, we have to turn around and go back. He goes, Miss Jane, you give it up. You're not going to get your iPad back. I said, yeah, well, just a minute. I'm going to differ with you. So he turned around. So we get out. It happened to be one of the little security stations. And I walk in. I guess I had this look of, hey, somebody help me. And sure enough, this lady goes, may I help you? And I said, well, of course you can. And so she said, what can I help you with? I said, well, I was an idiot and left my iPad on the plane, and it's right behind you, like right there. And if you, I don't know, I know I can't go back in. No, you can't. But you know what? Just a minute. And I said, they said they left it at the gate. So 3 phone calls later, and less than 10 minutes, Jorge comes walking down the corridor with my iPad. Oh, yes. Now, let me tell you that you're thinking, oh, that never happens. No, that's a little story about Woogie. You expect things to happen, and I always expect good things to happen. So I get back in the car, and he goes, Miss Jane, I can't believe it. He goes, usually they send it off to Timbuktu and to the lost and found, but no. I said, no. I said, I'm one of God's favorites, and I live in expectancy, and I live in the Woogie at all times. That's the Woogie, folks. You've got to believe that good things are going to happen to you. And I always believe good things are going to happen to you. You live in expectancy. You expect good things to happen, and it does. Josh, who I yelled at last time because he said I'd probably talk too much, and he always goes, how do you do that? And I'm always surprised when things like that happen. I'm grateful that they happen, but I do expect that good things to happen. And when they do, he goes, you're surprised. I said, well, I'm taking surprise as being grateful. So I'm grateful that I'm one of God's favorites, and I'm grateful that I live in this state of Woogie. Now, you guys, how many of you all are pet lovers? Anybody out there? Okay, Frank, you're a pet lover. I know Marty's over here. She's a pet lover. Anybody else here a pet lover? Oh, that's right. There's only 2 people here.
I got 3 dogs.
Oh, you got 3 dogs, Marty. You have one, and his name is Gordo. He's what is he? What's your dog? An English bulldog. I mean, that's why he's Gordo, I guess, because he's Gordo. Anyway, oh, hey.
We got a third person in the studio audience.
This is Jazz. Hey, Jazz.
Hello.
Okay, this is Jazz. So he's a new guy. And if you will see, we're going to do a little, I'll get to my dog story in a minute, but I'm going to plug my other business. If you look up here, it says hide and seek, okay? Storage. That's where we're doing this wonderful downtown business of recording this. We're at Hide and Seek Studios. And also, here is my lovely logo. Dun, dun, Jane, remember the name. And so I do have a QR code, but we ran out of clips. You should have seen us trying to put all this up and trying to get the thing. It was a comedy of errors right there. So, and now we have lights. We used to have 2 lights. Now I'm looking at five lights. 5 minutes. Okay, I'm going to tell you a story about my dog Pete. Okay, so in the state of Woogie, I had this dog, and her name was Jaja, and she was a Lhasa Apso, and her full name was Jaja May West Cross. Okay, and she walked like this, and she strutted. Well, I had her for almost 15 years, and we had to put her down. But, and so when I got her ashes back, it said, our beloved Lhasa Apso. And I'm thinking, she was a horrible dog. I loved her, but as a dog, she was horrible. She would look at you and go, And I mean, just put her nose up. So Josh, wherever you are out there in La La Land, he said, Jane, do you want another dog? And I said, no. I said, but if I do get a dog, I want a Weimaraner. And if y'all aren't familiar with Weimaraners, they're gray hunting dogs. And they're sleek, they don't smell, they don't shed much. They're a people in a dog suit. And I said, I want a Weimaraner. I want it to be a year and a half old, because I don't want to train it. And puppies are a lot of work. They're like kids and grandkids. I'm practicing. Y'all are my practice audience. So we have the grandkids, but now we have a dog that's a year and a half old. I don't want it too old, because then they have bad habits. So I had to put Jaja down in December. Fast forward to November of the next year, and I have a Misfits Thanksgiving. Now, we'll talk about my Misfits Thanksgiving. That could be the next episode. Marty, write down Misfits Thanksgiving so I don't forget.
Right on top of that, Rose.
Yeah, you got that. Remember Misfits Thanksgiving. So I had this big party, and I came in, and a Weimaraner came up. Now, you guys, Weimaraners they don't just run around. They're kind of specialty dogs. And so I went into the house and I said, my Weimaraner's here. And Josh goes, what Weimaraner? I said, my dog is here. She goes, you're so full of it. I said, no, my Weimaraner is here. Sure enough, go outside. There's this big giant Weimaraner, and he is just, you could tell he's exhausted. So some people, we came in, we gave him a bath, we got him a collar, we got him food. He slept for 3 days, okay? Of course, we take him to the vet. Guess how old he is? That's right, a year and a half, just what I wanted. So, and then we looked up names. We looked up www.dogsnames.com, and there's really one. They break it down by breed. So we went to Weimaraner, they're German, so we tried the Hans, the Lars, the whatever German names they had. Then we went to, since we're Pluto 956, we went to, Pepe, Pedro. We went through all the Mexican names, King. And so, no, didn't do it. So we sat there about the 3rd day, and we said, we need a name for you. So I'm sitting there looking at him, and I said, I just got back from the Vatican and St. Peter's Cathedral. He said, I said, what about St. Pete? He gets up and walks over and puts his head on my lap. Now, folks, that's the Woogie. You expect your dog to come, you expect good things to happen, and he materialized out of basically nowhere. So I want to tell you that that's part of the Woogie, and every little segment I have, you're going to know about something that's Woogie, okay? But right now, next time, we're going to talk about Misfits Thanksgiving and what Misfits really means to you. See you next week. Keep that Woogie going.